Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome into Dom Time with Dom Giordano and Sean Walsh, reporter for the Philadelphia Daily News, and Matt Katz, who is a reporter, columnist extraordinaire, and even a roaster of Governor Christie with the Christie Chronicles. We're talking about some of the other issues that are out there, Sean. LCB, we had quite a battle last week over this, and what happens with this if it goes through. What's your sense, the Philadelphia political circles that you cover, et cetera, and the union piece on this, if they lose on this, is that a pretty big defeat?
It's definitely a state issue. They have a separate union for this based in Harrisburg. A lot of the guys who run that union help out with the political work in the Philadelphia unions.
Right.
And the momentum of the labor movement is something that they're very sensitive to. So I would say that it would be a blow to them. I don't think that it would, put the Philadelphia unions under, but they certainly want to win that battle. That's a top one for them.
And Matt, let's talk about the governor's race in New Jersey. Then we'll talk to Sean in Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. Coming out of this type of thing, we see Governor Corbett, and my sense is that he's waiting for Allison Schwartz. We just had the Gosnell verdict in the last couple of days, and Allison Schwartz has not answered yet. Now, I want to ask you this question. Is it rare? Can you think of any reason why she wouldn't answer? Did you refer, when you ran an abortion clinic, people to Gosnell, which is the charge that's out there? She ran the Blackwell Clinic.
Right.
When you deal with politicians like this that don't answer something like that out of the box, are they just being overly cautious? What would you do in that situation to follow up on that?
I mean, sometimes if you avoid answering the question, something else pops and then you don't have to worry about it, and that could potentially be what they're doing. I've also found that sometimes when they don't answer a question, it could just be because they don't have their stuff together right. I mean, the spokesman, maybe she's away, or the spokesman didn't call it back, or they're. Sometimes it's just a little bit of disorganization, and rather than some big
plot. I'm asking that because Sean, when I see the governor's race in Pennsylvania that's shaping up as national consequence, Year of the Women, Corbett has stumbled on some things, and women are not necessarily something that he plays well to. And if it is Allison Schwartz, there's going to be quite a contrast there.
Absolutely. Hillary Clinton, for instance, is much more popular in Pennsylvania than Barack Obama was in that primary. Female Democrats do very well in Pennsylvania.
Waitress moms, that was the term they used the last time, right?
And I see that momentum building. And of course, Corbett will try to turn women's issues against her by saying she's extreme in being pro-choice and things like that. It'll be fascinating, actually, to see how that unfolds.
So do we agree here? Are you guys off the record? I'm on the record. We hope it's Schwartz-Corbett, because people have to realize in the media, it's not our horse race of who I want to win. I look at talk radio, and I think that's the best thing. That gives a lot of stuff to people seeing that every day.
Although in New Jersey right now, we do have a equivalent race. Christie is running against a female with a much more, as opposite politically from Christie as you can get. I mean, she is one of the most liberal elected Democrats in the state. I mean, if you want a contrast from Christie, there it is. And her views, if you poll each of her views, they're actually more in line with New Jersey voters. And yet, she's looking at a 25-30 point deficit.
Is she getting any traction, though? We're starting to see a little bit more traction for Giordano, right?
A little bit, yeah. Her name ID, actually, Governor came out with an attack ad against her today.
Which surprised me.
It surprised me, too, because her name ID is so low that this is only going to increase her name ID. But I think he's trying, sort of like Obama did toward the end of the primary, before Romney had it locked up. He's trying to define her before she has a chance to define herself. And I think that's what you're seeing with the attack ad against her. She's from Central Jersey, so she lacks both this Philly media market and the New York media market, so her name ID is pretty rough. Nobody else wanted to run against him. A succession of Democrats turned down the opportunity to run against him.
From Booker, Sweeney, the real high-profile guys. They get it, that this is almost a kamikaze mission. What do we see coming up for viewers, either in the suburbs or Philadelphia, that is the big issue out there that you see that has some kind of, that affects a lot of people that are in this region?
A big national issue?
Yeah, national or statewide or regional issue. What do you see coming up?
Certainly, immigration will be. It's going to be interesting to see how states that aren't directly affected by it react to it, as far as a barometer for the presidential election that will follow. So immigration is going to be taken up by Congress pretty soon, and just to see how places in Pennsylvania, we have Hazleton, for instance,
Right.
which had a big backlash to illegal immigration, just to see how that plays out in the suburbs of Philadelphia will be a good national
I think it
indicator.
is too. And Matt, where you are in New Jersey, I think Christie's been on board or between the lines with the DREAM Act,
That's true.
which is the big issue in New Jersey, the illegal immigration or the kids that were brought here illegally. And is it fair to give them the DREAM Act? And I'm kind of surprised that he sees that as just and fair.
Yeah, he's been a bit on the left side of things when it comes to immigration. That's something that's he's gotten some hits over. The national issue that's playing now in Jersey is guns. After the package collapsed in D.C., now it's playing out in the legislature, and he's and how he handles things and is going to indicate where he stands both locally and then when he pursues things.
When do we
nationally.
read Christie Chronicles in the Inquirer?
Every day, Philly.com/Christie Chronicles.
And we see your work, Sean, every day. Do you have to?
PhillyClout.com.
PhillyClout.com. Oh, I've been in there a few times. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. Coming up, my look back at the life and times of Barbara Walters, who says today she'll retire. I'll talk about the in-person debate I had with her. And once when I asked her, Barbara, where did you get these women that you put on The View? That's straight ahead with Dom Giordano. Hey, with all the things going on in the world, Benghazi, the IRS looking at American citizens, my mind, though, turns to the retirement of Barbara Walters. I really can't believe it when she announced on The View that come next summer, that will be it for Ms. Walters, who truly was a trailblazer. I remember when she was the first female anchor on TV, that was very, very difficult. And I have to give credit to someone who can take this speech pattern and the ability to make people cry during interviews and somehow or another parlay themselves into an American icon. The one thing I really have trouble with Barbara Walters, though, was the creation of The View. What a great concept. Take intelligent women, maybe not there, and put them together in a unique package on TV. And I asked her about that once in person. She told me she knew better about what American women are all about and what American women want. I offer as evidence, take a look at A View on a regular day and tell me if that's great TV. Dom Giordano on Dom Time.